Hey, before the episode starts, I want to give you guys a quick shout out that Thankmas is happening on December 9th. It is Hytale's biggest charity event. All of your favorite community members are going to come together for one stream, and you might see a special segment from Chris and I. So don't forget to tune in for December 9th. It's going to be happening all day. But we have a special episode as well because we have a lot of Hytale news. John has been cooking, as you've been telling me.
Bro was in the kitchen, dude. He was making food.
Yeah.
It was great. It was awesome.
Yeah, so I say we're just gonna jump straight into it.
Absolutely.
Basically, for context, he got a tattoo like yesterday.
Did he?
Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? 2
Maybe
days
2
ago, he
days
got a
ago.
tattoo.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of hours to be just sitting on your phone. So he decided, hey, I'm gonna answer some questions.
I'm gonna cook on Twitter. That's exactly what he was doing.
The very first thing he talked about was, hey, John, which area of the game are you most satisfied with? And he answered World Gen. We got that. And then you replied, I wonder what yesterday was.
Oh, did I?
I
did that?
Yeah.
Oh, I did do that.
And,
look at that.
And he answered with Farron. Just Farron. No S. And I replied, I think there's a word missing with the ... because he put ... Farron.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it would have just said Farron.
Yeah, because Farron, that's a whole faction. So, like, which Farron is John cooking about today?
Yeah.
And then,
I
commented
he's not
on
talking about just the race Farrons, although we'll get to that. I think there's something more to that. Speculation can be done.
Oh, there's quite a few types of Farrons that we know. The shamans, the babies, the moms, the chiefs, the Sand Empress, possibly. We don't know what race that is, but probably Farron. So, yeah, it's quite exciting.
100%. So, he replied to you. Oh, nope, never mind.
Again?
That's not an important one. That was just you saying type Hytale and let autocomplete finish it.
Oh, that was fun. I got a lot of interactions.
Let me get to the next one.
Yeah, John Hendricks, man, going crazy.
He tweets a lot of other stuff too.
He does. He loves to reply to things. Yeah.
Oh, here's a big one.
Okay.
Chizakira asked, once Hytale's released, everyone's playing around with it and everything's public. Will y'all tell us how different the release version is from the original 2018 to 2019 version that was supposed to release before the trailer released? And what features weren't in it? And John replied saying, Buddha should make a documentary on it. And Buddha just replied with a glass and a wink.
Oh, did he? Are they going to make so the team is going to make a Hytale documentary? Like, I thought you were going to do that, honestly, Myne. But, like,
I replied, I'm like, hey, if you need help.
Yeah. John
has seen my portfolio. He knows I'm capable.
You're good at
just
talking.
Hit me up. So, I'm gonna make this documentary. You know what's up?
Yeah, you gotta. I can't wait to just be in the documentary, sit in a chair in a black room with light on my face, and just talk about Hytale.
Yeah, you are just blinded by lights.
Yes, exactly. I think every documentary ever.
I think this is something I've talked about in previous episodes. How my biggest wish is that we get to see. I think I specifically said documentary about, the process leading up to the launch. Kind of see the internal. Maybe even internal meetings, problems, successes, all of that. And I guess I'll kind of leak this. I tried to ask Buddha, hey, you've shown people demos of the old game. Is that something you still have that when post-launch exists and we're all playing the new Hytale? Is it going to be a possibility to eventually test out the old version of Hytale, see the differences? He obviously did not respond to that.
Dang.
The documentary is a step towards that, and I do want to eventually get an interview with developers, see like, hey, why did it take 5+ years?
It's a good point.
Just
why did it?
Pick their brains when they're obviously available to talk about it. But this documentary is a great start to that, because I think a lot of people want to know, hey, we've been waiting on this game. What gives?
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely help you with that documentary as well, because I'm quite interested in doing something like that. Whenever I see documentary, I think of like Connor's documentary on Minecraft, and that thing did numbers. So imagine a Hytale documentary, just of pre-launch Hytale, because there's a lot of years to talk about there. Like, well, right now it's 5, but then there's also the years of development before they even announced the beta that most people don't even know about. So that would be cool to get some devs in there too.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Another tweet asking if there's a possibility that magic in the game will not be exclusive to use in combat in order to have some utility. For example, fire, lighting a campfire. And John said, absolutely. If I could use magic for everything. In our current campaign, I use the camp trip every single time the DM pauses for a trip breath. And so, for context, this is talking about D&D, not Hytale. But he's a big fan of magic, is what he's trying to say.
He does like magic. He does like magic.
And then
he did reply to that though, actually.
He talks about what his favorite magic systems in anything, any kind of setting. He answered that, and then he got a reply saying, "Would be interesting to see a similar system in Hytale." And John says, "I encourage working the spirit of crafting into everything."
Mm-hmm. Hey, magic everywhere. There you go. Yeah,
I guess that's what that means.
Interesting. Cool.
Then he talked about... Panther asked him, is 4,000 followers enough for the next blog post?
Hey, that's a valid question. That's a valid question.
Was confirmed with 3,000, and John said, no, I learned my lesson last time.
What did he expect, honestly? He's at 4K, by the way, now, so...
If
something was going to happen.
4,050, so he would have already...
Maybe that's why he's been cooking. That's why he's cooking recently.
Let's see. Awesome, I'll keep an eye out. What is this in reply to? This is not important. He talks about Noxie.
Does he?
So,
Where?
Wild Slicer asks, I gotta ask, what is the piece being added? Wait. What is this in context to?
What is the piece being added? Is there
something about
tattoo? Something about a tattoo.
Yeah, he's just talking about him being in the tattoo parlor. He said, first clue I had to ask Noxie before I committed to it. Well, it's not a date. I actually don't know what this means.
I think he's
talking about what's being added to the tattoo.
Yeah, then Wild Slicer says corrupted Farron ? He says nightmare scenario or maybe a great quest idea. So yeah, I don't think it really has anything to do with it, but still
something
pretty cool.
Very interesting that I saw. One of my favorite answers, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Someone asked, as you have told us that the lore has updated, I want to know if you guys added more villains to Hytale. Some of our best discussions have come from talking about bosses, talking about Varyn.
Absolutely.
And he said yes, and they are significantly stronger than before.
That I don't even remember seeing this because I didn't like this, so that's pretty epic. I never saw that before. Sad Farid, great question, by the way. So
yeah, incredibly good question.
So maybe back in like 2019 when they released a trailer, maybe the only thing the Yeti could really do was throw blocks, and now maybe the Yeti can throw blocks. Maybe he can freaking
ground pound.
Yeah, throw ice or something.
Crazy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've also added a lot more villains, and he talks about more about villains. So I'd say we save this discussion. There's one right here where he talks about.
What is he talking about?
Answering Hawkon. He said, why do you like Farron so much? And John says, cool backstory, and I like their style, armor, and how they fight, etc.
That's fair.
John
I mean,
Hendricks
Farron's
really
fight.
Likes the Farrons.
Farron's fight. Look at that. Not that we didn't know that, but official confirmation. That's pretty sick. I like that there.
Yeah, but he does tease that they have a pretty cool and unique fighting style. So I hope we get to see more of them. Honestly, with the amount of discussion we've heard about the Farrons recently, I would be surprised if we get some Farron information in the next blog post.
We got it.
We get some World Gen and we get some Farron.
We got the Farron in the last blog post. Remember the one that travels throughout the zones?
Yeah, but we don't know anything about the Farron.
No, we don't.
Because if we think about what we got about other tribes, the Outlanders got a whole blog post dedicated.
Quebecs and Trorks have a lot of content on them. Farrons, they really, like you said, they really don't have a lot of content on them. We have it in concept
double blog post, an engine blog post, and a Farron blog post.
Oh my god, what if we got a triple blog post, an engine blog post, a beta blog post, and a trailer?
Well, yeah, I put the beta in the engine, but yeah, the beta is important.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Farrons, they're kind of just more like hunters, I would say, just by looking at them, because they have their like toothed spears and shields with like leather or something on them. They have bones as armor, so yeah, I would love to see their specific fighting style, because it looks quite interesting.
Yeah, they're definitely very intriguing.
Yeah, and I want to see how much they hate Scarix, because we all know that Scarix used to enslave them. So we'll see.
Then someone asked about what John thinks about esports and if he has his favorite esports genre. He says he's a big fan of squad shooters, but he had a great time at Worlds last year, so he's been to League, Worlds. He's a big fan of CS,
Is he?
Valorant, nice. I assume.
Cool.
I don't think Overwatch counts as a squad shooter. I think those are more CS and Valorant. And then Joey replies, maybe Hytale will have some kind of esport. And John says that will be up to the players. I think esport chooses you, and I think that's very important. I'm so happy he does not want to force esports onto a game, because that generally ends up not working, as we've seen with Overwatch.
Oh, did they try to force esports onto Overwatch?
Yeah. Overwatch League. It is now officially dead, by the way.
Oh, is it?
That's
great.
Overwatch
well,
League
the fact that I never even heard about it, I think says something. So, I mean, Hytale will probably, we said they're gonna have esports, but I don't maybe at the start it won't be like an official league, and then maybe eventually it could be turned into a league.
No,
but
I don't think so.
It could just be what Minecraft really does, like how they had Minecraft
it's just
Mondays
gonna be community run. So we'll have things like Minecraft Monday. We'll have separate servers hosting their own events, kind of like that. It's all going to be community generated,
right? And
if they do any sort of esports, it's not going to be official esports. It's going to be more like public competition. So something I could see is but something I could see is like an official Hytale creator of a hosted event.
Of course,
I think
that's
a lot of games do this.
That is
where, for example, at HyCon they invite 50 to 100 creators, and they all do a bunch of mini games and see who wins that. I think that can probably be counted as esports, but it's not like an official league or something.
Yeah,
just,
and
an event where a bunch of people are competitive in Hytale.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, this was I think the last one was maybe pre-pandemic, like 2019. It was called UHC On Air, so Ultra Hardcore On Air. So it was just a bunch of live streamed YouTubers or Twitch streamers or whatever, and it was all the good players. It wasn't just a bunch of nobodies. It was a bunch of good Minecraft players that played UHC on like Bad Lion servers or all those like Reddit servers or whatever, and they'd have hundreds of players on one UHC map for a live stream, and it was sort of a charity stream too as well. And like sometimes viewers can donate to the live stream to give that specific like YouTuber or streamer a diamond, or you give them like a golden apple or something like that. And it was a lot of fun to watch. I remember watching it all the time.
Sounds like an event that you'd host.
It would be an event that I would
host this in the future.
I could see
right
myself.
Up your alley.
It is exactly right up my alley, and I could see that being, like you said, in the future. And it was a lot of fun to watch, because at the end there was I think there was a point system, and then players move on to like other rounds or whatever. So it was really cool. I can see tournaments like that as well. So esports, I could go on about this all day, but yeah,
I bet. So there was another question saying, I hope I don't miss this, but are you going to be able to refight bosses once you've defeated them? And John says, answer's complicated, so I will just say yes.
So what? Is there a respawning ability for bosses?
He said the answer's complicated. And I think there is another answer where he talks about refighting bosses, so we'll save the discussion for this one with the next question.
Yeah, I saw an interesting one here from Skirt Skull. He says, I love your game, take your time. The game is worth the wait. I just have one question. Is there going to be a gallery in the game where you could scroll and see your own and other players' creations, characters, or buildings, kind of like in Sims 4 gallery?
Yeah.
And he said, I agree it's important. We are exploring ways to share and showcase builds, but nothing to reveal yet.
So that's exciting, because they obviously that shows they're still actively working on creator support, making sure that creators are first, because that's been their motto and their kind of stance since day one, is they want this to be about us, the creators, people who make the maps, people who make mods, skins, whatever. So they're obviously still tinkering with a system to effectively show off your stuff, because they could just do a lazy gallery, but maybe they figure out, hey, this is not
screenshots.
Maybe this is not as effective as whatever they're planning.
For sure.
There's another question here.
Yes.
Saying, ever since the progression change from starting in Zone 1 and progressing linearly to being able to start in Zones 1 through 3, are zones still internally referred to in their original numerical order, perhaps instead referred to as the names we've heard, such as Borea, unless changed?
What question? Where's that question?
And John replied, it is one of the things that we have to explain to everyone during onboarding. Okay, so we sometimes refer to all the biomes as Zone 1 because there was this really cool piece of concept art. I think there's a lot to dissect in this.
I never saw this.
So you get to take it in for the first time.
Yeah, this is the first time here. So, Zone 1 is not called Zone 1. It's going to be called Emerald Grove now. Zone 2 is going to be Howling Sand. Zone 3 is Borea. Right.
Yeah, I think Zone 1 and... Basically, what we know about the zones comes from a single piece of concept art. And it's just the easiest way to explain it, because it does say just Zone 1 through 4 and then unannounced. So maybe unannounced isn't even zone. Maybe we're going crazy. You know?
So are there no Zone 5 and Zone 6 that we just don't know about?
I think right now we're reaching too far, but it could be a possibility with the way we're seeing things right now. So I think it's a good confirmation that zone numbering isn't going to be really a thing. It's going to be more of the names, because it doesn't make sense if you spawn in Zone 3 at the very first time. You're in 3, but you're all, they're equal.
Right. Which is kind of cool. I never really thought of it that way. I really would have thought it just been Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4, Zone 5, Zone 6.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking of it this way,
it makes sense why they wouldn't want to do it, because I think numbering the zones with numbers is kind of confusing.
Yeah,
it's definitely a lot easier to just remember the names: Borea, Howling Sands, Emerald Grove. Mm-hmm. What is the Zone 4? It's deserted.
Devastated Lands.
Devastated Lands. I was close.
You were close. Started with a D. It's got the will of D. One Piece reference. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. There was a lot of talk about like the zones in my theory video that I did the other day. So kind of brings me back to it. Because I remember I was looking up, it was through Hakon's theory. He was talking about like Greek god names for elements or whatever. And I looked up like wind or ice or whatever. And that Greek god of wind and ice is literally called like Boreal or Boreal. I forget what it was. But I wonder if Hytale got the name from that to put onto someone's
or a boreal forest.
Yeah, that too. But that's also probably named after that Greek god as well at that point.
Yeah, so. It actually could be. That's interesting.
So that's kind of interesting.
So probably all relates back to the Greek god.
Yeah, so I don't think Emerald Grove, Howling Sands, or Devastated Lands are named after Greek gods. But hey, pretty cool that Borea is. So.
Yeah, and he mentions onboarding. I'd like to take part of this onboarding. Just
is that like
fun.
What is that? What do you mean by onboarding?
So like when you get a new job, well, it could be in beta. But when you get a new job, you have to learn everything.
Oh, right. I thought we were talking about
onboarding,
like a beta or something.
No.
I was like, they gotta tell every player about this. I'm like, just tell us. It's not hard.
No, it's when people get hired, they have to explain the different zones. They're like, okay, so there's this concept art. It's basically like we try to explain Hytale to someone. Okay, so this game, it's like Minecraft 2. It's like the same thing.
I see. Okay, that's cool.
I literally did that yesterday. I was explaining to my boss what Hytale is.
Of course you were, because why wouldn't you? Understandable.
Yeah, I was like, so there's this game. It's like Minecraft 2. Are you familiar with Minecraft? Because he's like not a gaming at all.
Everybody knows what Minecraft is. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So.
And he was like, "What do you mean Minecraft 2?" Difficult.
Oh. He's like, "What do you mean? There's no creeper in Hytale." Yeah.
Yeah. So right here, there's a question asking, can we summon bosses in Hytale using blocks like the Wither in Minecraft, or any special ways to do so? And John says, many types of bosses and many ways to encounter them.
That's cool. I mean, they want everybody's play or game to be different, so it makes sense that you just don't drop in a hole in the exact same time as everybody else and fight a boss. I think it'd be cool. Like, we see the Yeti in I think it was an OST background, just kind of wandering around the forests of Zone 3. It's in the background, very hard to see, but I remember seeing the Yeti back there just kind of going up a hill. And then we see in the trailer the Yeti's in the middle of like an icy plain. So once again, completely different for two different people. Just say you walk up to the Yeti who's climbing a mountain, or you walk up to the Yeti who's in the ice plains. Different.
Yeah.
Great.
And there was a bunch of replies regarding this. I'm gonna skip through it. Where Wild Slicer suggests that there could be like a gauntlet minigame, similar to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where there's Trials of the Master Sword. I forgot what the name is, but basically, you get put into this arena and you just fight a boss. You move on to the next one. You fight another boss. You just keep on getting new bosses.
Well, that's like a mini game, though.
Said,
no?
Yeah, a mini game, like not in the actual story.
Right.
And he said the gauntlet could simply be new generated versions that are algorithmically stronger and have variations on appearance. But to start, one would have to progress through the story mode, basically to unlock those bosses. And then John said, progress through the story mode? Good luck.
Ooh, John was cooking there.
Biggest bombshell, in my opinion. That
so
is dropped.
There's no progression through the story mode? What are we thinking, Myne?
What does that mean? Does that mean there's no...
There's no progression there. There's no story mode. No, I'm kidding. Well, the thing is, we know this for a fact. There's no linear path throughout the story mode, so everybody's play is going to be different. But I would still think you end up at the end, right, where you fight Varen or something. But maybe that's not the case. But yeah, we know you could choose your own path, so you could align with Varen and just kill the world if you really wanted to. Like, no one's stopping you from doing it.
I don't know if that's in the game, but...
Right. But I don't know.
Progress through the story mode. Good luck. So he's obviously teasing that the story mode is incredibly long. Does it mean that the story mode is yeah, I guess it's non-linear because yeah, but is there an end? Is there an end is what I'm trying to get to. Is there like a complete like the end? I don't think there is.
Well, even in Minecraft, you get the credits, but you can still play the game after you get the credit scene. So I don't know. What do the comments say on this?
Bombshell.
What are the comments?
You said it's almost as if there's 7,000 different prefabs, which I don't think has anything to do with the story.
I don't think so either. But I was thinking more of the lines of it's different for everybody.
Yeah, there's not really any comments regarding that.
No, not really. Okay, never mind then.
So there was another question about shields. Saying, hey, we've seen some gameplay where there's like almost no knockback. He takes damage, he takes little damage, and John said it's configurable so that there can be shields with different balance of damage or knockback protection, as well as other things. And someone replied to this saying your answers are so ambiguous, and I wanted to say, yeah, this answer really means nothing to us. He's just saying you can mod the game, but we already know that you can mod the game. So I don't think this is any sort of news being like, hey, you can change the shields if you don't like them.
Yeah.
I can be a pigeon if I want to, you know?
Well, do you also think that a regular like wooden shield and then a like cobalt shield will have different stats though? Like I feel like the cobalt shield is going to be a lot lighter than the wooden shield, right? So you could be talking around those lines as well instead of modding.
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously the shields are going to be different. Not every shield is going to do the same thing. One has more knockback. One maybe isn't even as an attacking shield, like has spikes on it.
Yeah,
you hit people with the shield.
Yeah.
More parry damage if that's a thing.
That's cool.
I want parrying to be in the game. Now that I think about it, I think that would add such a cool skill-based.
That would be a massive mechanic. Because that's all about timing, right? In most other games.
Yeah, it is 100% about timing.
So, yeah, I know in Jedi Fallen Order they have parrying and. When you land it, it's so satisfying. It's just so satisfying when you land a good parry. And then I think it's a counterattack on top of that parry. It's just glorious.
Yeah, parrying. Oh, I didn't even think about this being a possibility in Hytale. Now I want it. Now I really want parrying.
Yeah, I wonder, can you parry special attacks, though? You think that's possible?
Maybe it's limited to physical attacks?
Yeah, because, like, you know that little jump attack with the daggers? Like, I wonder how, like, probably could parry that, but probably very hard, or I don't know, because like if you build up all that like experience or whatever to get that attack, and just for it to get parried, that would kind of suck, right? But
so you replied saying, John, why are you cooking so much? We haven't even recorded the podcast yet.
That was this morning.
So yeah, perfect for us that he tweeted all of this, because he tweeted things this morning.
Yeah.
To my knowledge.
He did.
And so, I was working yesterday. I was not able to record the podcast. We're recording this. It should go live in 30 minutes. You you understand why the episode's late now. I woke up with a headache, so we're recording a little bit later.
Mine was clearly hungover. No, I'm just kidding. He wasn't hungover. Not this time.
And John is saying I'm in Ireland again. My timing's just so off. So time zone, that makes sense that he's tweeting against the podcast time. Because as you know, if you're a true Hytale podcast fan, he always tweets an hour after we post. And I don't like it. He always also tweets right after I post my video. You didn't post a news video, so I guess you didn't really have a reason to post.
Yeah.
By the way, Chris made a theory video, which you guys should definitely check out.
Do that.
Very, very good video. Bunch of community members. So do that after this episode, not during this episode. Don't click off yet.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Yet. We have more to talk about.
We do have a lot more to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So John's in Ireland. Why is he in Ireland, Chris? Why would he be in the office? It's almost as if
Wasn't he just there? I swear
team.
he was just
there.
He was just there.
Traveling a lot.
John maybe he just likes Ireland, man. I don't know. I mean,
maybe he likes...
I asked him right now how the weather is in Ireland this time of year, and he's like, it's a lot like Seattle, cold and wet. And Seattle, yeah, I mean, it's cold and wet right now in Toronto, so
yeah,
actually,
it's pretty dry. It is warm or hot down here.
Yeah, you're in Florida. We have very different living situations. So yeah, you'll see that.
Really
it's
funny.
Awesome. It is really, we're like polar opposites, and it's kind of weird how my color's red, your color's blue, but like red's hot, blue's cold. It's just everything is just opposite.
That's how it goes.
And our podcast logo, you're on one side, I'm on the other side, and
we are flipped on the podcast logo, which
it's so perfect.
I think it's funny.
It pisses people off, but I simply do not care. So I love it.
Seattle, Ireland. He's in Ireland again. He's in the office. I have to assume if he's in Ireland. Why is he in the office, Chris? Is he cooking? Is he stirring the pot? He has.
I'm sure he's stirring the pot. He's definitely stirring the pot. Have you seen his tweets recently? Of course he is. Even Buddha's stirring the pot right now.
Let's talk about that. Buddha did tweet a little bit. I'm gonna open up his Twitter replies. Yeah.
So if we get Buddha Cat to
57 minutes ago,
8,000 followers from Buddha Cat, does that mean we get a what's it called? A beta?
Maybe. Buddha replied 57 minutes ago. He probably assumed we finished the episode. He was asked what his favorite faction is, and he said more than one person can like Farron's. Because the question was like, John said Farron's, you can't say Farron's. Right. It's like more than one person can like Farron's. I think at the moment Farron's are my favorite. They're insanely cool, and I'm excited to for y'all to learn more about them. And I replied, what happened to Chorks, Mr. Cat? Because I thought last Thankmas he said that Chorks were his favorite. But he replied to this 2 seconds ago saying, never said Chorks were my favorite. Just said that they were insanely
Under a minute ago, he replied
and
to
they
that.
Might surprise you.
Huh.
I'm going to reply right now. We're still recording.
Still recording. I got him. This is live breaking news from the Hytale podcast. Buddha Cat tweeting 40 seconds ago to us. But yeah.
I could have on any other channel.
No, you won't. This is straight up live news right now. But yeah, I mean... A lot of people like Chorks. I don't remember what Sciolito said. What was her favorite one? Was it Farron's as well?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. She did a Quebec cosplay. She's probably a Quebec.
She does like
gal.
Quebecs.
She does like. I mean, who doesn't really? But yeah, Buddha Cat also likes Farron's. So they're clearly cooking something up with Farron's and World Gen right now. So get ready. Maybe have we ever really seen a Zone 2 in-depth breakdown blog post? Because we got Zone 3. I'm pretty sure we got Zone 1. We got peek at Zone 1's wildlife.
We've seen a lot of Zone 2. I don't think we got a specific blog post about Zone 2.
Like, a lot of headers for blog posts are Zone 2, which is kind of weird. Like, there was 4 in a row back in 2019, all Zone 2.
Oh, yeah.
But we never have gotten a big Zone 2 blog, which is great. Well, not really great, but like that means something's cooking, and we know Farron's are in the kitchen right now. So let's keep going from there.
100%. So I don't think he responded to any other tweets. I could check real quick.
No. I don't think so.
So that's all for tweets. But wow, is that a lot of tweets? I'm just waiting for him to take a small break in tweeting, so I want to pump out a video on this before the blog post comes out.
What are you gonna do?
I might record that today. We'll see. Maybe there's
do a what to expect. You should do one of them.
Oh, I could also do that.
That's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm gonna claim that. No, I'm kidding. I won't do
that. Yeah, we've got some podcast questions because they've been filling up.
Have they?
Yeah, they've been filling up because there's a lot of episodes where we just haven't answered questions. If you want to ask us questions to be answered on the podcast, link is down in the description for the Discord. It is the most active Hytale Discord currently available. There might be bigger ones, but they're not active.
Facts.
That's where we get them.
Just straight facts.
Hakon asks, what's your favorite Hytale Spins episode?
I think the global one now, because
the global one.
We got him.
There's no better episode. I think there's so much that happens in the Glorbo one. It's very self-ironic. It's very self-acknowledging. It's perfect.
The editing, the words, the Glorbo, masterpiece. They were cooking more than John.
This one's for you, Chris. Saying,
oh, is it?
It's Levi Zashulker asks, do you think there would be an alternative magic system to staves and spells? For example, I think the Devil Fruit system from One Piece would be a cool addition where you would gain powers at the cost of an ability like swimming that would be taken from you.
I mean, around that lines, that would be really cool. If, for example, you just drink a potion or something that gives you a special ability and then you can't do something else, that would be really cool. I don't think there's going to be a straight-up Devil Fruit in the game because, I mean, that's kind of a copy of One Piece, but, like, also, I don't think you'd eat a specific vegetable or fruit and get, like, special jumping abilities. But then again, in Minecraft, there's golden apples, which gives you regeneration abilities for a little bit of time, which is kind of like a Devil Fruit, honestly. But then again, who knows? I'm sure there probably are some specific foods that regen you faster. And
it could be in the terms of gear. That it gives you special powers, but it limits you in some.
Well, we've seen that already with the demonic axe.
Demonic axe. It could also be like an armor that lets you take less knockback, but you're slower or something like that.
Yeah, so it's heavy. It's like a heavier armor.
Yeah, heavy armors, things like that. So maybe not like right on the nose of Devil Fruit, but like around there where there's a buff and there's a debuff at the same time. I think that's possible.
Yeah, definitely possible. I mean, I think anything's possible in Hytale.
We've answered this question a good amount of times. It's how will it be when you die in Minecraft? Will you respawn in your bed? Oh, where would you respawn? I don't think we answered this.
Ooh. Well, there is... Oh my god, well, I need to pull up that concept art. Myne, you go first. There's an image.
Whoa, I was not... I thought you were
sorry. I was trying to.
I have no clue, to be honest, how where you're gonna respawn. That's not something I thought about. They could do beds, but I feel like at that point they could see some criticism, being like, "Oh, this is literally just Minecraft." So they might have to figure out something else. Yep. There could be like, I don't know.
Hear me out.
That's a really good question.
There is a Temple of Gaia Garden of Elements image that I have, and it has a legend here. And on this legend, it has Story Dungeons, World Dungeons, Temple of Gaia, World Gate, Spawn, Point of Interest, Player, Friends, and Waypoint. So
that's one of my favorite concept
I love that
arts.
It looks so well, it's actually, I think it's part of the trailer, not gonna lie.
It's part of the trailer,
yeah. But there is a spawn option right there. And then if you go into... No, that's it. So clearly that's where you spawn. I don't know how that's gonna work in real life. I can't remember if that little compass on the top of your screen has the spawn logo on there as well. But that's clearly what it'd be. But to set your spawn,
right, but
how would you sleep in a bed?
Like, where do you go once you're in the Temple of Gaia? You respawn, you jump in the portal. Where does it bring you?
Probably back to the portal in the overworld, no?
So you could build your own Gaia's portals.
Well,
that'll be your spawn.
No, I don't think so, because there's that concept art
there's
again.
Just like one centralized. Yeah, I know, but that would mean like you can't ever set your spawn.
Yeah, or unless it's a spawn for the dungeon specifically.
Yeah, because they can't. There's no way they can make it so that you can't choose where you respawn. Because you have to be able to choose, like, hey, this is where I live. I want to spawn here.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And I feel like the way of doing that is gonna be on the bed. I like, you just gotta sleep in the bed and you respawn. It's a great way to do it, unless there's like a /set home command like there are in every faction server ever. But I don't think
that wouldn't be self-explanatory.
No, exactly, it wouldn't be. Unless there's like a specific way you can set a waypoint to where your house is, and that acts as your spawn.
Maybe, because we know that waypoints do exist.
Yeah, I think that's possible. But then, don't really know.
Yeah, I think that's very plausible. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they go around spawning. Because that's something I honestly haven't thought about yet. So I'm very glad you answered that, or you asked that question. Interesting. My mind's actually like running right now internally.
Yeah,
Trying to think
I'm just
ways.
like, ooh, you know, I don't know. Exciting.
Adventure mode monetization. CHQV asks, assuming a free-to-play model, it is fairly easy to think of ways that they could monetize things like minigames with cosmetics and server hosting. How would you see the adventure mode being monetized effectively? Would the Ultraverses be paid DLCs? Would there be skins for sets of armor?
The adventure mode? I don't think they can really monetize the adventure mode.
I think it's difficult.
Because that's like the main focus for the game. And if they want a bunch of people to play it, and if we think the game's going to be free to play like it is, you should not monetize the adventure mode unless it's like a pay to look cool model. That's the only way I can see
that doesn't work. That doesn't work because you can
Exactly.
mod everything.
Exactly.
The fact that you can mod pretty much everything in adventure mode kind of nullifies any cosmetic or DLC options. Because I think like earlier in the podcast we were talking about like, hey, maybe the Ultraverses could be DLC, and maybe that could be it. They could maybe do storyline DLC, but at least in adventure or in creative mode, you cannot lock anything behind it. So it might be that
I don't
adventure
think
mode
it's
is strictly
possible.
the story is strictly free to play.
Which
I don't know
I
how they
think
could
that's the
monetize
best
it.
way possible too. Is just make it free to play. Let someone who wants to play the game play the game. Don't put any boundaries around it, or else you're gonna get some bad PR on it. You're gonna get terrible PR.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be enough like modes of monetization in other like areas of the game where they'll be able to. I don't know. It's tricky.
100%. No, you're right. Nope, exactly.
Or I think we talked about the fact that they could lock the story mode behind a paid thing, and everything else is free. So it's like $30 to unlock the story. The rest of the game is free. You can hop on the server for free. I think that's also a plausible thing.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds awesome. I'm good with that.
We can answer one more question. Vid asks, do you think Varen will shoot the green fireballs in the boss fight, or do similar skill shots exist? Do similar skill shots in between the player can attack? The Yeti got big boulders, maybe more bosses can have cool dodgeable ranged attacks.
Yeah, I could see bosses having like ranged attacks. Makes sense. Like the Duke probably gonna throw bombs at you. Chieftain probably just got a sword. I don't think he'll really do anything. The Void Spider, was he gonna spit webs at you? Which is annoying. I hate spider bosses.
Oh yeah, if anyone here has ever played Windcraft, and it's literally the second boss in the game. Yeah, it's the second boss in the game with the spider. There's a bunch of spider webs all over the floor. It's super annoying.
God,
you get stuck in it. You can't move.
Oh, brutal. Devastating. Yeah. I think bosses will have ranged attacks. Void Dragon's probably going to spit void at you.
You'll be able to dodge them. You'll be able to probably, right after they shoot it, there's going to be a small cooldown for them where you can punish it if they didn't hit you.
Like
so I think there's going to be a lot of skill base to the bosses. But we've also heard from the recent tweets that bosses are very difficult now.
Yeah, that's really exciting to see because I want the game to be very hard, and I'm going to play it on the hardest difficulty, and it's going to be a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah, we're gonna die a lot.
Yeah, yes we are.
See us in the funny moments compilation where we just die over and over and over again.
The amount of times we're gonna die is gonna be hilarious, and we're gonna get mad.
Let's set up a challenge between each other in our first Hytale world.
Because we're playing on max difficulty.
Whoever dies the most.
I know you're playing on max difficulty. I'm gonna be playing on max difficulty.
We're both gonna be playing on max difficulty.
It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, we'll see who dies more.
Probably. I don't know. Who will die more, Myne? I don't know.
I don't know. I die a lot, so...
Yeah. I wonder how many times Connor's gonna die. I've seen him play Minecraft.
Oh, Connor's gonna die a lot. Oh, yeah. I want to see Connor's Let's Play.
It's gonna be so funny.
Stream it.
Yeah, he better stream it. I think that's the only way to do it, to stream it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming mine. I know you said you're gonna be streaming yours, so a lot of Hytale content from your favorite creators. But I think that's gonna cause a wrap to this episode. A lot of good discussions, a lot of good news. We're still looking forward to that blog post coming any day now. See you in the next one. Peace out.